Their girls couldn't even get in a human pyramid, do any cartwheels, nothing. They just danced.
It's an RFL conspiracy.
One of them had a bit of a dodgy thing going on with her belly, but
bit of a dodgy thing.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because I couldn't see because it was a big screen and they were too far away. But Wigan's cheerleaders were better.
What do you mean it had a bit of a dodgy thing going on with her?
Well, I can't explain it. It was a bit weird. Her stomach looked weird.
Was she fat?
No, she wasn't fat.
Well,
like I say, I can't explain it. Tom, I didn't go up that close to notice. I just can't explain it.
Thought her belly looks a bit funny.
It looked a bit weird. But that aside, the Wigan ones were better.
Was it hairy?
It was no. I can't explain it.
Were they better than the three lasses that we saw at Halifax?
Yes, they were better than them,
right?
Because there was more of them dancing in time together.
Yeah.
But the Wigan ones were better. It was an absolute travesty, unbelievable.
It's an
unbelievable miscarriage of justice.
RFL conspiracy, I reckon. Nathan Petty said,
all we wanted was a fair vote,
fair chance for our dancers.
And I don't feel like we got a fair vote that night, Tom.
Hey. It's not long now to the end of the season, though, mate. And then the proper cheerleaders get brought out, don't they? The RFL's one.
Well, it's coming up, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll have the
I think we've got the sluts of the Magic weekend as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Nathan Petty says it's his first contribution in a while, lads, so I apologise. Went to the game tonight, and my word, could you tell that Wigan had no pack that made us look like boys, bar Bateman, and maybe Mossop or Club. Plus, Tierney is a complete passenger. We can only get better. Very good. Paul Marshall said that for all Wigan's good youngsters, it's the ones that we've let go who are doing well. Hughes, Russell, Mellor. Do we produce too many? We need a Gidley type to lead our youngsters round. Smith doesn't do it, and I'm not sure Sean O'Loughlin has this season either. I don't think you can say you produce too many youngsters. I think the decision about when you let them go is the question, isn't it?
Well, we don't produce too many because, like I say, we need to... Clubs like Wigan, St Helens, Leeds have to produce them for clubs like Hull KR, Widnes.
Okay, I've got a very good youth so.
Well...
No.
Well, I don't
standing on the shoulders of all FCs.
Yeah. But, you look at those club sides and they've got players that have come through academies elsewhere. But, Wigan have got players that have come through for academies as well. But, yeah, I think it's... The Gidley comment is right. Smith isn't doing it. Smith's very good at executing a game plan as long as everyone else executes the game plan. Yeah. What he's not good at is changing a game... reading the game when it's not going to the plan.
I agree with that.
O'Loughlin, I'm not sure. I mean, he's played a bit more in the front row, and he hasn't really played a lot of in his normal position, his best position. And when he has, I think he's had a bit more influence on things.
Yeah.
But that is a really strong point that Warrington have brought in players to address the problem they had at that leadership, and it does help bring the best out of players like Evans and Curry and Russell and young players who they have there. But no, I think part of this is looking outside and looking at people and thinking, well, their teams beat our team, so they must be better than what we've got. If I had a choice over playing Joe Mellor or having Finch, Green, Luluai and Smith as your half-backs in that period, I would have chosen all of those other four over Joe Mellor at that time. Yeah. And we did not know whether Joe Mellor's knee would be right to be a top-level Super League player in 3 years' time, 4 years' time, that he has turned out into being. You just have to make those calls sometimes. By the time he let go, we knew we had George Williams, Sam Powell, Ryan Hampshire on the rails as well. Yeah. Do you let that next group go, who... maybe you don't have the same concerns over that we did a bit over Mellor. Jack Hughes is a starter. He's a starting quality back rower in Super League. Yeah. Wigan have 3 of those already. Yeah. You can't have 4 players all occupying that same salary cap space and that same space on your team sheet. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. That's how the salary cap helps spread the quality around, like Jack Hughes.
And to be fair, is Jack Hughes a better player than Farrell or Bateman?
Not in my book.
Not in mine either. So it's almost a moot point. Yeah, yes, he's a great player, but he's not as good as what you've got. So you can't keep him.
But I mean, this happens at all the clubs, really. I'm sure Leeds at the moment, are looking around and seeing how well Chris Clarkson played for Hull KR the other week, and thought, well, he's better than a church, or he's playing better than a couple of the other people they could put in the side.
Well, then specifically with Chris Clarkson, I think there's more to it with his attitude and stuff, because he was out at Widnes and stuff, but I take your point.
I'm saying other clubs can do the same as well, rather than just making it a Wigan conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
Good. I'll carry on. I got to then. Paul Campbell got in touch. He said, will Sean Wayne have a job by the playoffs? Yes, I suspect he will. Worst Wigan side defensively I've seen in a long time.
If Wigan don't get into that semi-final playoff,
they probably will.
The actual knockout part of the playoffs, then I would have strong reservations about keeping him on as coach next year, unless he's got the Challenge Cup sat in his locker already.
Yeah, but he will have a job at the playoffs.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yes, because it means we're going to win contention still.
There you go. Absolutely. Okay, so let's look at the second game of the weekend, which saw the Widnes Vikings losing narrowly at home to the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats, mark 16 points to 18. I'm assuming this is one we both missed on, isn't it?
I missed on all of them, Tom.
You got one. Well, we both picked a Widnes win for this, I'm sure. So credit to Wakefield. The Wakefield revival continues.
We got quite a lot of stuff in on this one as well. Fired up, I'm guessing, by the 3 yellow cards and the 2 red cards.
There was a lot of issues in
this game, which I suppose are what we would talk about, because neither team must have thrown up much quality. It was 0-0 for about half an hour, and it ended 18-16, but there was only 5 tries in that. Wakefield scored a lot of goals, didn't they? And I just think. So obviously what we're going to talk about is the decision. So I'll start with the stats then, Tom, and then we'll probably pull out through the decisions through what people say. Is that a better way to go?
I think so. Yeah.
So 153 more metres, 0.7 metres per carry better gain, 1 more break and 1 more try, 2% better team tackle success, 2 fewer errors. Not bad for a side who had a man down for 30 minutes of the game. The 16 penalties, though, by Widnes, 6 more than their visitors, was clearly a factor in the result. The total 26 penalties was the most in the game this year and second most since SLP began.
There you go.
98 episodes ago. Max Jowett individually for Wakefield, a try assist 126 metres, Ben Jones Bishop 129 metres, Mikael Seaman 126 metres, and Andrew Yates making a rare appearance from what I can recall this year, 100 metres for Widnes. Charlie Runciman got...
Did you say Charlie?
Charlie.
Tell you what, Charlie Runciman bagged some fucking serious points for my dream team this week.
Yeah, well, with a try, 156 metres and 2 clean breaks, I can understand why. Reece Hambury grabbed a try, 5 tackle bust, 110 metres, 3 successful offloads. Cahill had 43 tackles and Lloyd White 42. That's despite spending 10 minutes in the bin for Lloyd White, so obviously worked hard.
Absolutely. Okay, Diane LBW, she said, poor old Widnes. They didn't do badly given that they were down a man for most of the game, but the fans must be wondering what happened to the Widnes that fired out of the blocks early doors.
Well, they lost continuity in selection, didn't they?
Yeah, and they
missed some of the key players down the axis. There was a spell where they had White, Cahill and Brown all out at the same time, as well as both centres, Bridge and Runciman were out as well. I think factors like that have to be thrown in. Injuries aren't necessarily an excuse for losing, but when you lose the sort of axis of your side, that can disrupt things, and they've all come back in and out. But in this game, I mean, they weren't down a man for most of the game. They were down a man for 30 minutes out of 80, weren't they? Yeah. But still, I think that Sky led us astray, didn't they? Sky basically made out that only Jeremiah had been sent off.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Paul O'Brien, who's also a Widnes fan, got in touch and said not the best game by both teams, but not helped by a referee who is well out of his depth in Super League. Joe Cobb. I can take getting beat, but all I ask is for a fair crack of the whip. I go to the match to watch a game between 2 sets of players and not to watch a referee who lost control and made decisions up as he went along, which is stern words considering Paul's got a foot in the refereeing camp as well, isn't it?
Yeah, former Northwest Counties referee of the year in 2003?
3, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Anyway, so when Paul says it, you sort of take something from it.
Yeah.
Although a lot of people said it in this one, it's hard to know how much sterner he could have been.
That's sent a few people off, hasn't he?
Yeah, but because they were witness players that went. I mean, the Arvan one, the disciplinary committee have backed the decision that was made and given him a severe charge on that, haven't they? Is it a C or a D or something? And poor Ash Gibson, when he was starting to get some form together, has done his shoulder.
Yeah.
I've seen worse tackles than that not go punished this year, though. And I sort of feel like maybe because it was pulled up as the sin bin, that's the only reason he's then gone on to get the charge, and there was the injury, obviously.
Yeah,
and that's my worry about how the disciplinary's gone this year more than ever before.
The injury will have an impact on the amount of time Patrick Arvan's spends kicking his heels.
But it was a dangerous. It was a dangerous tackle.
He
did drive the lad onto the ground from an awkward angle, and you can see how his shoulder came out of whack because of that.
Well, Colin Render goes on to say, if the referee had sent off Arvan for the terrible tackle, then the 2 sendings off later may not have happened. Good win for Wakey, though.
Well, the more Heremiah incident was directly
that was
as a result of a revenge attack.
Yes, it was, wasn't it? Yeah. That's
so
true.
So there is some merit in that, but the other ones were for holding down, so I'm guessing off the back of a break, professional foul, probably. That was the White one, wasn't it? And the Marsh one was for tripping, and he's been charged for that. So, obviously it was more serious tripping than just what we've seen elsewhere, but a sin bin for tripping is not unheard of, and a sin bin for holding down in that sort of thing happens almost every time.
Yeah.
So I've not seen those sin binnings though.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see what Joe Cobb's doing next week. Oh, it's Challenge Cup next week, isn't it? So okay, Becky McEwen, she got in touch and said, wow, just wow, never have I seen such awful refereeing in my life. Hashtag corrupt RFL. People want to love the game, but we do, but bloody hell, get a grip. At Joe Cobb at Widnes RL, played with pride tonight, only to be robbed. I'm assuming that Becky McKeown is not related to Chris McKeown.
No, but what we would like is for Becky McEwen to get in touch and tell us how she pronounces her name.
It's Becky McKeown.
It's Becky McEwen. But anyway, Bex Mac, get in touch, hit us up with how your name's pronounced, and we'll see if you don't know how to pronounce your name as well as
I hope this puts egg on your face.
It doesn't matter.
It matters to
She's
me.
got to be wrong if she thinks it's the same as.
It doesn't matter. She'll be wrong if she agrees with people who have her surname. But, Simon Shires, go on.
But yeah, to go as far as, I mean, obviously she's a Widnes fan, and this was sent just not long after the game in the heat of things. To go as far as saying that
it's corrupt.
There's corruption within the RFL over poor refereeing performance. I think calm down. Have a think again about that. What would the RFL get out of Widnes beating Wakefield? Wakefield beating Widnes.
I don't think for a second that in the background of this match or in the referee's changing room there's like a version of, remember the cigarette smoking man out of the X-Files? Kind of like in the shadows, like, you're going to throw the game, Cobb, alright. And it's just not happening. It's not.
No, I'm sure Becky realises that and still can have her opinions about how the game was refereed itself.
Yes. Similar feelings, though, come from Simon Shires.
No, opposite feelings.
Opposite feelings, in fact. Yes, you're right. Come from Simon Shires, who said that Widnes are dirty bastards. Brian Davies says, was nearly at 0-0 at half-time.
Simon was at the game and is a Wakefield fan, to give context to that.
Cool. And no wonder he thinks that they're dirty bastards. Brian Davies, who's also a Wakefield fan, says it was nearly 0-0 at half-time, which would have been much more exciting than last week's 24-24 half-time score. Arvan will be in trouble for a spear tackle on Gibson, and Widnes would have won this if they had better discipline. Wakey battled hard, losing Gibson out on 6 and Kermond on 30 minutes. Second half, like kids rugby, too loose, though the last scorer winner was fun. Hashtag top 8 tour. There you go, fair play. Stephen Lever said, never in my 40 years have I ever seen a more corrupt, biased and dangerous referee as Joe Cobb. There is no way this man, and I'm using the term loosely, and then he sort of trails off a little bit there, but then he says, if the RFL don't investigate this game, then something is seriously wrong.
Yeah, I don't know if we've missed some of Stephen's point there. Not my brother-in-law, Stephen Lever, obviously.
No? What, are you certain?
Yes, because my brother-in-law is not a rugby league fan.
No?
No.
Oh, maybe he's just keeping it from
or
him.
a sports fan.
Fair enough. Okay.
But yeah.